Hey guys, welcome back everybody. Hope you all are doing great. Guys, today in this video, we are going to understand packet flow between multiple sites. Or you can say packet flow between headquarter and branch office. Or you can say packet flow between multiple branch offices. Not only packet flow, we'll see how branch users or user from the headquarter, from the data center will access resources of different sites which are available at different sites. At the same time, how they can access internet, right? Because generally in real time in the enterprises company, guys, our requirement is my user should be able to access internet as well as my user should be able to access network resources, right? Like let's say there is one branch office in India, in Delhi, right? And the headquarter is in US, correct? So I have some servers, some critical application in the headquarter, in the data center in US, and the branch office who is sitting in, India want to access those resources. So they should be able to access those resources. So definitely we are going to use here transportation solution. Maybe you can use internet, you can use MPLS. So we will see the difference between internet and MPLS as well. And we'll also discuss some types of VPN because VPN is also correlated to same topic. And guys, these are very important topics of computer networking. So if you are a network engineer or if you are planning to become a network engineer, make sure you will watch this video till the end. This video is going to help you to improve your technical skill. It will help you to crack network engineer interview. It will help you to understand real-time network. So guys, this video is completely based on real-time scenario only. Most of my subscribers are saying, please make videos on real-time scenarios or real-time troubleshooting. So this is completely real-time scenario video. Okay. Now guys, without wasting our time, let's begin. Let's suppose I need to connect two sites together. One is in India. Let's suppose that is headquarter, and one site is in US, that is branch office. What options I have to connect these two sites together? Either I can connect these two sites together with the help of internet, but you know internet is public network. You have to use firewall at both branch. The second option is MPLS. MPLS is the private connection, right? Means service provider is going to give you a dedicated link between 2 points, between headquarter and your branch office. So definitely you can connect with the help of router as well. You can connect these two sites with the help of router as well, without firewall, because MPLS is more secure as compared to internet, right? Even MPLS is secure, guys, completely secure solution, right, to connect two sites together. The reason this is dedicated link between 2 points or between more points, right? In MPLS, service providers are going to configure VPN, right? They can configure either L2 VPN or L3 VPN. Don't worry, we will see the difference between L2 and L3 VPN as well today in this video. Okay, so these two are most commonly used transportation solution to connect multiple sites together. First one is internet and second one is MPLS. Now, most of the people are not clear with how they are connected. How we are going to use internet and MPLS to transportation at the same time. So guys, let me make you understand with one example. First, try to understand how we are connecting two or more sites together with the help of two or more transportation solution. So let's give one example. Let's suppose here I have one. Let's suppose here I have headquarter in India. This is my headquarter, and at headquarter, this is headquarter. At headquarter, I have some devices like you will have access layer switches, you will have distribution layer switches, right? You will have routers. Then let's suppose I have one firewall, that is my edge device. This is firewall here, right? And through firewall, my internal devices are connected. This is my headquarter. Now I have one branch office at another location. Let's suppose here. This is my branch 1. Branch 1. Here I have one router R1. See, I have two options here. Either I can place one firewall at each sites, then branch offices user can access internet directly, no problem at all. But if you don't have one separate firewall, one dedicated firewall at each branch, then make sure your branch users will access internet via headquarter only, right? So let's suppose my organization is a startup, and guys, choice between MPLS and internet also depends on company to company, right? Some company can prefer internet, some company can prefer MPLS, right? See, MPLS is more secure, more reliable than internet. But as MPLS is a private connection, right? Dedicated link between point to point, between 2 points or more points. So MPLS is costly, right, as compared to internet. But internet is public network, right? Anyone can attack in your network from the public, from the internet, right? But MPLS is secure, right? So generally what we are doing, most of the organizations, right, like how most of the companies are connecting their branch offices together. Definitely a startup company will use internet to connect multiple sites together, like me, like let's say PM Networking. PM Networking want to open a branch office in US. Definitely I will use internet, and then I will configure VPN here. I can configure IPsec to secure the data, right, on the internet, because internet is not secure. But for your organization, let's say your company have critical application in the data center, right? So their data is very critical. Security is the priority for your organization. Then definitely you will go with MPLS. MPLS will be your primary connection, and for the backup you can use internet, right? But no one will reach to internet directly. Like a branch office cannot reach to internet directly, right? They have to reach internet via headquarter only. Correct? So let's suppose I have headquarter here and branch office here, branch 1. On branch 1 I have one router, guys, and this router is, let's say, now connected with your switches, distribution layer switches, then access layer switches, and here you have the subnets, right? Let's say here in internal I have subnet 10.1.1.0/24. Here I have subnet 20.1.1.0/24. Now I need to connect headquarter and branch office together, right? See, I am going to use two service provider. Most of the companies are using same connection, right, in their infrastructure. So that's why I'm going to give same example here. First one is MPLS. Why MPLS? As I told you, MPLS is going to give you point-to-point private connection, dedicated connection. See guys, if I will talk about the MPLS, wait, before talking about this diagram, let me discuss some basic points about MPLS here. Suppose I have two sites, R1, router 1, which is connected with a service provider here, and then this service provider is connected with another router, that is R2, right? Let's say this is side 1 at different locations, side 1, this is side 2, correct? This is what MPLS. So this is network of service provider. Service provider will also have lots of routers here in their internal network, and they will be using any routing protocol. Their all routers will be directly connected with each other for the redundancy, for the traffic distribution, right, for the load balancing, like that. And then here we will have one router, here we will have one router. Generally guys, here we have three types of router, right? In this scenario, I have connected two sides, side 1 and side 2, with the help of MPLS. This is MPLS. Fine. Here we have three types of router. This one, R1, is C router. This is the edge router of customer. So we are saying this is C router, customer edge router. Again, this is edge router of customer. So I am saying C router, customer edge router. So router 1 is the customer edge router at side 1, router 2 is the customer edge router at side 2. Then these routers, all routers inside the service provider are known as P router, means provider router. These are provider routers, and this router is connected with provider network as well as customer network. So this router is known as by P router, means provider is router. Now see, to purchase MPLS connection you have two options. Either you can purchase L2 link between side 1 and side 2. L2 link means simply MPLS, your service provider, is going to give you one link between side 1 and side 2, right? Like between router 1, let's say router 1 here and router 2. Both are connected through MPLS, but L2 link means service provider have given you this link, like direct connection. Now you can assume that a direct link is connected between router 1 and router 2. Here you can configure one IP, let's say 12.1.1.1. Here you can configure IP 12.1.1.2. So see, both routers are on same subnet. Both routers R1 and R2 are in same subnet. Now here I can configure any routing protocol like OSPF, and generally we are running OSPF routing protocol only on L2 link. Whenever we are talking about the connection like lease line, so these are L2 link. These are what, guys? L2 link of service provider. So either I can purchase L2 link, right? In this scenario, what service provider will do? Service provider will configure L2 VPN in their network. They will configure L2 VPN. See, if you want to learn VPN in detail, I have a separate playlist, right? On this channel, on PM Networking YouTube channel, you can find a separate playlist for MPLS, guys. There you can learn MPLS VPNs in detail, right? I think more than 40 videos are there in that playlist, correct? So L2 VPN means service provider is going to configure their network in such a way so that they will provide you a direct link between 2 points. Direct link between 2 points. On that point, you can configure any routing protocol, like you can configure OSPF, you can configure EAGRP. And my end-to-end task is, here I have one LAN connected with router number 1, here let's say X, and here I have one LAN, that is let's say Y. Right? So my task is, my concern is these two sites, these two LANs should be able to communicate with each other. Now you can see both routers are directly connected with each other, right? So I have configured OSPF here, and now I can advertise this X network in OSPF. So router 1 will directly share with to router 2. And in the same way, I will advertise Y network in OSPF, then router 2 will share Y network to router number 1, and this is how two sites are going to communicate with each other. There is no involvement of customer edge router configuration, right? We are not going to advertise any network information to service provider, right? This is what L2 VPN. Now if I will talk about the L3 VPN, L2 VPN means L2 link between 2 points or between more than 2 points, right? Then L3 VPN. L3 VPN, what will happen in L3 VPN? In L3 VPN, service provider is going to configure a VPN or L3 VPN between PE to PE. You can configure one IP address here and one IP address here. Both will be reachable with each other with the help of service provider. This is the concern of service provider, how they are going to configure their network. Correct? But in case of L3 VPN, service provider is going to configure L3 VPN between PE to PE router, like this PE to this PE. Now you have to configure routing protocol between C to PE, right? Here you can configure any routing protocol, OSPF, BGP. Let's suppose here I am running OSPF protocol, right? Again, between PE to C, this PE to C, I have to configure any routing protocol. Let's say again I am using OSPF here. Here my IP address between R1 means between C to PE is, let's say I am running 10 network 10.1.1.0/24. Here I am running different subnet 20.1.1.0/24. So see, in this scenario in L3 VPN we have different subnet, guys, at both sides. Correct? Now between P to C I'm going to configure OSPF, and now I will advertise my LAN network X network in OSPF. So what will happen? C router will advertise that X network to P router, to provider, edge router to service provider router, and service provider is going to configure L3 VPN for you. So with the help of that L3 VPN, this PE router is going to advertise your LAN network to this PE router, and then this PE router is going to advertise it to C router, right? In the same way, router 2 will advertise Y network information to this PE router with the help of OSPF. Then we have L3 VPN here. So this router is going to advertise that network to this PE router. This PE router will advertise to R1. And this is how these two sites are going to communicate with each other. right? So in L3 VPN, actually there is configuration involvement of C order customer, right? In L2 VPN, there is no involvement of customer order configuration. You only need to configure the IP address, right? And in L2 VPN, you will have only single subnet, correct? On the same subnet, your both router means side 1 and side 2, both routers will be sharing the data, correct? That is L2 VPN. So again, in this scenario here, I can either purchase L2 VPN or I can purchase either L2 link or I can purchase L3 link, right? That is L2 VPN, or you can say L3 VPN. So in the same way here, I have service provider. Then another provider is, let's say, internet. Why internet? See, with the help of MPLS, I can connect my firewall and this router. Now these two sides again in the same way can communicate with each other, either with the help of L2 VPN or with the help of L3 VPN. L2 VPN and L3 VPN, these are the configuration of service provider, right? Service provider, this depends how service provider is going to configure VPN in their network to make reachability between two sides. How service provider is going to provide you connectivity between 2 points. Fine. So first one is MPLS. Now you can see both sides are connected together with the help of MPLS. So what will happen now? Now firewall will advertise this subnet to service provider. Service provider will advertise that to router number 1. In the same way, router 1 will advertise 20 subnet to MPLS to service provider. Service provider will advertise it to this firewall, and these two sides can communicate with each other. There is no any problem. This is private, secure, reliable. Everything is working fine. But the issue is, what if this MPLS will go down, right? So we don't have any redundancy. We don't have any backup between headquarter and data center. So guys, for backup, what we can do? We can take another connectivity from the service provider. And for now, you can see the user who is sitting in the branch office can access resources at the data center. Let's say at data center, I have one server, right, where I am hosting one application, one app, right? That is very critical app is hosting over here on this server. So can this branch users access this application? Yes. Can this branch user access internet? No, right? There is no internet connection. So guys, there are two types of providers. One who will provide you only connectivity between two sides, and the another provider is internet service provider, right? SP and ISP. ISP means service provider who will provide you connectivity between two or more points. Internet service provider means the provider who will provide you internet service, right? And even we can use internet to connect two sites together as well, right, by configuring VPN. So let's suppose here I have one connection from internet. Now I'm going to connect this firewall to internet as well and to R1 as well. Now guys, let's suppose if MPLS will goes down, then also these two sites can communicate with each other via internet. We have to configure the scenario, right? We have to configure firewall, we have to configure the router number 1. Now, can this user from branch 1 access internet? Answer is yes, right? Let's say on the internet there is one server 8.8.8.8. Can these branch users ping 8.8.8? Yes, they can ping 8.8.8, but again they will not access internet with the help of this link. I will tell you the reason why branch users will not access internet with the help of this link, guys. Because see, if I will configure router number 1 so that this user can access internet directly with the help of this link, what problem are there? In real time, in the production network, whenever a branch user want to access internet, first of all, router will verify that. Router will verify the user traffic, types of user, which type of user it is, whether you are allowed to reach internet or not, or what service you are trying to access. Are you allowed to access that service, right? So devices, my edge device will check this information. Who are you, right? Let me check you are allowed to access internet or not. If you are allowed to access internet, then let me check what services you are allowed to access, right? And we cannot configure policies on router number 1. And as I told you, we have firewall at data center only or headquarter only. I don't have any firewall at branch office, right? Like this, I can have multiple branch offices, right? So if I will place firewall, then I have to place firewall at each branch. So what other option we have? Either here I can place one firewall so that my branch users can access internet directly. Otherwise, your branch users from this subnet can access internet. How? Via headquarter, right? This router will forward traffic to MPLS. MPLS will forward traffic to firewall, to the headquarter, right? Now headquarter will forward traffic to, first here we have firewall. This firewall is going to check policies, right? It will check you are allowed to not, you are allowed or not to reach internet, you are allowed to use that service or not, right? So even anyone from this branch office want to access the server which is in data center, right? Any user from the branch office want to access the server in data center, firewall will check every time that you are allowed or not. So on the firewall, we will configure the policies. On the basis of those policies, firewall will take forwarding decision. Either it will allow the traffic or it will deny the traffic based on policies. Correct? So what will happen in this scenario? My branch router will forward traffic to headquarter. At headquarter, firewall will verify traffic with the by configured policies, right? If traffic is allowed, then firewall will forward to internet. And in the same way, reply will come. Internet will forward traffic to headquarter, and then headquarter will forward traffic to branch office. This is how my branch users will access internet, right? Via headquarter, via MPLS. Now, what will happen if MPLS bill goes down? In this scenario, Praful, how these two sites are going to communicate with each other? So, guys, here see, we have internet connection. We can configure the scenario in such a way so that whenever MPLS link will goes down, then these two sites can communicate via internet, right? Via this transportation. But internet is public network. This is your private network, private. This is your private network, private. So by default, two private sites cannot communicate with each other through public network. What I am saying, two private network cannot communicate with each other over public network, right? Or you can say two sites cannot communicate with each other through public network. So the technology which we are using to make it possible, right? To making communication possible between two or more private networks over public network is known as VPN. Is known as VPN, virtual private network. So what we can do between this firewall, between headquarter and this router, I can configure one VPN. Right? I can configure one VPN. And guys, on the VPN, I will run any subnet, and on that subnet, we will configure the routing protocol, right? Let's say here IP address is 1.1, here IP address is not 1.1, 10.1, here IP address is 10.2, right? So now on this VPN, on this virtual link, I can configure the routing protocol like OSPF, and I can advertise networks through this VPN, through this virtual private network. And everything depends on the configuration on firewall and this router, right? So guys, your first primary link between headquarter and data center is MPLS, right? Secondary is backup is internet, right? So if MPLS will goes down, then these user, how these user will access internet? These user branch offices user will first reach to headquarter through this VPN, through this virtual network, right? Through this virtual network, and then firewall will verify the policy. After that, firewall will forward traffic to internet. Again, internet will reply. Firewall will verify the policy. After that, firewall will forward traffic through this VPN to the branch office. This is the packet flow, right, between two sites. So see how things are working. Branch offices user, if both transportation, both solution are up, then all communication will happen with the help of MPLS, like two sides will communicate with each other with the help of MPLS. Remote users will access internet via headquarter, via firewall, right? But if MPLS will goes down, right, then these two sides will communicate with each other with the help of VPN. And as you know, public network means internet is not secure, right? Then Praful, how I can forward the data of this server, critical server, because I am hosting critical server in my headquarter. The internet is not secure. So to secure this VPN, what we can configure? We can configure IPsec. IPsec, we can configure IPsec between two sites. So actually IPsec is for point-to-point VPN. We can say point-to-point VPN. Like in this scenario, I am connecting two sites. So here I can configure IPsec to secure the virtual network. What if we have multiple branch offices? So guys, we have different types of VPN, that is DMVPN. DMVPN. So I can use DMVPN, and again with the help of IPsec, we can secure that DMVPN. Let's suppose this is my firewall, headquarter. This is the branch office. Like this, I have multiple branch offices. Firewall. And then multiple branch offices, R1, R2, R3. How I can connect these all branch offices together? In between we have internet, right? We have definitely MPLS as well, but I am talking about the internet now only, right? But like on internet, how we can secure the data? So to secure the data, here, this is ISP. Right here, what we can do? Either we can configure IPsec, means point-to-point VPN, side-to-side VPN. In that scenario, here I have to configure one VPN. Here I have to configure one VPN, and here I have to configure VPN. So guys, see on the firewall, on the headquarter, how many tunnel are there? How many VPNs are there? 3 number of VPNs are there. So if I have 3 sites, I have to configure 3 number of tunnel on the headquarter. Correct. If I have 1000 number of sites, then I have to configure 1000 number of tunnel on the headquarter, on the firewall, right? So that's why this is not practical, right? While connecting multiple branches together, right? So in this scenario, at each tunnel, at each virtual private network, at each VPN, you have to run different subnet. So on the firewall, you are going to run 3 subnet, one here, one here, one here. Correct. This is what side-to-side VPN. We can use it. No problem at all. This is how these sites can communicate with each other, right? All branch offices can communicate with each other via headquarter, via hub, router, firewall. No problem at all. But on the firewall, headquarter, load is very high, right? So that's why the another solution is to connect this type of scenario. Here I have firewall, then internet, and then guys, we have multiple branch offices, R1, R2, R3. So DMVPN means here we can configure one tunnel, right? And like this, one tunnel can be connected with multiple points. This is DMVPN, dynamic multi-point VPN, virtual private network. So one point is connected with now multiple points, and the VPN, virtual private network, I can run one subnet. Let's say here IP address is 10.1.1.1, here 10.1.1.2, here 3, here 4. Now I can configure any routing protocol here, right? So guys, these are the basic concepts of transportation technology, right? You can say transportation solution, like how two sides communicate with each other. This is packet flow between two sides. Now hope if someone will ask you, or interviewer will ask you, how traffic will flow in this scenario, like in this scenario, how branch users will access internet, and why branch users will access internet via headquarter, what is the benefit of using it, right? Why we have two connection, internet and MPLS. Okay, now hope these basic points are clear to you. Guys, if you have any question, any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. No problem, I can make another video, part 2 of it. Even I can make 3 to 4 videos on the same topic, no problem. But you have to let me know that still you have confusion. So this was also a user demand video. One of my subscriber has requested me to make one video on this, like how to connect two sites with the help of two transportation, MPLS and internet, and in that scenario what will be the packet flow. So hope this video was helpful for you. If yes, then guys please hit on like button. If you are new on the channel, if you have not subscribed this channel till now, please subscribe this channel. We'll meet soon in next video. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye guys.